Hey class, good morning. Our goal for today is to be able to solve and graph quadratics through factoring. I scoured the internet and couldn't find anything better than what I could make myself, so I made a small little lesson for you. Go ahead and copy all of this down on a separate sheet of paper so you can stop the video, pause it, grab a separate sheet of paper and copy everything down. This will be part of your credits for today, so make sure that you are getting this copied down on a separate sheet of paper. Pause the video, and when you're ready, go ahead and resume. At this point, I'm assuming that you've already copied everything down. You're ready to go. You have your steps in the bottom right corner, which tells you that to find the factors, you first need to multiply A times C. If we're looking at our first example with P, the P squared minus 15P plus 56 equals 0, you're going to have to remember what imaginary number comes before that P. How many P squareds do you have? Your answer should be 1. So we're looking, I'm going to zoom in here, we're looking for factors of 1 times 56, which is just 56. So I'm going to copy that down here. You can follow along with me as well as I get this down. 1 times 56, we're going to be looking for factors of 56. Which we know to be 1 times 56. We also know a common one, 7 times 8. And actually, I'm just going to stop right there. Looking at this here, which two numbers can add or subtract in any way to get to your B term, or negative 15? Should be the 7 times 8. This is a little bit of review for some of you guys. So we're going to have P and a 7, and we're going to have P and an 8. What signs do each of these have to be in order to add to a negative 15P but multiply to a positive 56? They should both be negative. So I'm going to make both of these negative. Negative 7 plus negative 8 equals negative 15. But negative 7 times negative 8 is positive 56. Cool. I'm just going to bring down the equals 0 on the side here. Equals 0. Now when we're multiplying, remember, if we're multiplying two numbers, we'll just pretend these are numbers. If we have two numbers that are being multiplied and the outcome is 0, one of these has to be equal to 0. So I don't know which one is equal to 0, so I'm going to set them both equal to 0. So I'm going to have P minus 7 equals 0, and I'm going to have P minus 8 equals 0. Well, to solve this one, we add 7 to both sides, so we're going to get P is equal to 7. And for this one, we add 8 to both sides, we get P is equal to 8. Okay. So normally we'll see we're solving for our x value. This is our y value. So when your y value is 0, say we were to graph this. When your y value is 0, it's going to be along this line here. And your x value is a positive 7 and a positive 8, wherever that may be on your lined paper. This is a positive function. The p squared is positive, so it's going to be facing up. We don't know quite where the vertex is, but that's a good little sketch of what that graph might look like. Good job. We solved problem number 1. Let's go to problem number 2. Looking at our steps tell us that we need to find factors of the 1 times negative 4. So we're going to look for factors that multiply to negative 4. Well, negative 4 is made up of 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. I'm looking for a pair of numbers that adds or subtracts in any way to get to a negative 3. Well, that's going to be the 1 and 4. So I'm going to put n and 1 in parentheses and an n and a 4 in parentheses. We need to figure out what signs these have to be in order to add to a negative 3 and multiply to a negative 4. That's going to be a negative 4 and a positive 1. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 1 times negative 4 is a negative 4. I'm going to bring down the equals 0. Okay, and remember, anything times something else that equals 0 means that one of these are 0. 0 times anything else is 0. So I'm going to set both of these equal to 0 because I'm not sure which one it is. So I'm going to have n plus 1 equals 0. And I'm going to have n minus 4 equals 0. I'll have to subtract 1 from both sides. So n is equal to negative 1. And I'm going to add 4 to both sides. N is equal to positive 4. And remember, that was when your y value was 0. So over here, here's your y value. We have the positive numbers, the negative numbers. Your y value is 0 right around this line. And your x values here are going to be negative 1. So you can just sketch it on your paper somewhere. Negative 1, positive 4. That's just a rough sketch. My n squared is positive, meaning it's going to be going up. And that's a rough sketch of my quadratic there. Okay, one more example, guys. Let's move on to example number 3. Example number 3. Our steps told us that first, I'm going to go back to our steps. First, we need to find the factors of a times c, find a pair that adds to the middle number, and set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So going back to your third example here. Your number before the x, what was that again? A 1, very good. So 1 times negative 6, we're looking for factors of negative 6. So we're looking at 1 times 6, 2 times 3. And we'll stop there. Which one of those pairs in any way could add or subtract to negative 5? Could be either pair. This is one of those special ones. It could be either. I'm not sure. So let's set up my little parentheses here. I'm going to include x on both of those. You know what? I'm just going to make a little bit more space because I'm going to... All right, I'm going to have x and some number, x and some number, and that's going to be equal to 0. I just brought the 0 down. They're both negative, which means if I have negative 2 minus 3, that's going to multiply to a positive 6. I'm going to try the 1 and 6 first. 1 and 6. Let's give that a shot. To get to a negative 5, my bigger number has to be negative. Negative 6 plus 1, that's a negative 5. Perfect, that works. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. That's perfect. Both of those factors will work. Okay, one of these here is going to be equal to 0. At least one of them is equal to 0 because something times another thing that's equal to 0, one of them has to be 0. So I'm going to set x plus 1 equal to 0 and x minus 6 equals 0. To solve this, I'll subtract 1 from both sides. X is going to be equal to negative 1. I'll add 6 to both sides. X is going to be equal to positive 6. So when y is 0, your x values are negative 1. Go ahead and make a rough sketch. Negative 1 and positive 6. And your x squared term is positive, meaning it's going to be going up. Hopefully yours goes through the little line there, through the point. All right, you can refer back to your steps if you need any help. Let me know as well if you need any help with any of this stuff. Make sure that you take these notes and submit them for me as part of your credits for this week. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.